what I'd like to do is start off our 2023 Heroes Breakfast by introducing Matt Jernigan, the Executive Vice President from Ascend, if you would join the stage. Thank you.
Well, good morning, and thank you, John, for that introduction. So, on behalf of Ascend, we are very proud to be the presenting sponsor of the Heroes Breakfast this morning, and want to thank MTSU for hosting us in this wonderful facility. As a 2001 alum of MTSU, very proud to come back on campus this morning. So, as John mentioned, I'm Matt Jernigan, Executive Vice President of Ascend Federal Credit Union, and again, very honored to be here this morning for the Heroes Breakfast. I would like to first start by thanking the staff of the Red Cross, the volunteers, all that you do for our communities and the service you bring to our community. So thank you for that, and thank you for all that you do. We'd like to recognize a few members of the Ascend team that have joined me this morning. Leslie Copeland, she serves on the board of the Heart of Tennessee chapter of the Red Cross. So thank you, Leslie, for your service to the organization. Lucy Matthews, Dr. Lucy Matthews, a faculty member here at MTSU. She serves on our board of directors, so thank you for joining us, Lucy. Again, we're proud to be the sponsor of this event, but not only the sponsor of this event, but to recognize, again, the important work that American Red Cross does, from responding to disasters, maintaining and helping support our critical blood supply, and supporting military families. It's not only the work they do here in Tennessee, but really a worldwide organization that the Red Cross helps throughout the world. So we at Ascend, we understand the importance of partnering with like-minded community service organizations like we are. Credit unions are often recognized as the financial first responders when there's a catastrophe, and it's important that we partner with organizations like the Red Cross that are also first responders. So again, I just want to thank you for the opportunity to be here this morning. We're very honored to be the presenting sponsor, and thank you for all that you do.
Thank you, Matt, and thank you for your leadership. So our Heroes Breakfast is, full of a lot of organizations that support us, and they support us in our mission. So yeah, you're sponsoring an event, but you are actually giving us the resources, the revenue we need to be resilient and ready to respond. So let's thank a couple of them by giving levels. So our Lifesaver sponsors, of course, that would be Smyrna Ready Mix, Russ and Sherry Galloway, Murfreesboro Medical Clinic, and Ascension St. Thomas. Next, we have Presenters in Preparedness, which would be Middle Tennessee Electric, Redstone Federal Credit Union, United Communications, Volunteer State Bank, Dr. Jim and Beverly Calder, Ray and Dr. Gloria Bonner. And I'd also like to mention some media sponsors, and this is a good time for me to say Nick Parangapi. He's not here today, so if anybody hears me butcher his name, don't tell him that I didn't get it right. And if I did get it right, tell him. But Nick is an Oakland High School graduate, and he gives back every year by doing the video that you'll see of the Legacy family. So I just want to recognize him for doing that every year at no cost as his contribution to the Red Cross. And one of our board members, Terry Schneider with Fast Signs, she does an awesome job for us in many ways, so thank you. Next, we have people in the $1,000 or supporters of service. And we have First Bank, Pinnacle Financial Partners, Old South Properties, Gills Ace Hardware, NHC, Andy Womack, and First Baptist Church on Castle Street. And definitely want to mention the fact that our board members, every year, they lead off the year by doing their board pledge and payment. So all of our board members give at this level, which is Jenny Williams, Christy Martin, Leslie Copeland, Roy Boyd, Bill Shacklett, Terry Schneider, T. Wilson, Scott Furness, Chantho Soriano, Ray Wiley, Jay Barger, and LaShann Dixon. So thank you all for your leadership and continued support. So now I'd like for everybody to stand for the posting of the colors.
sir. Arms.
Okay, thank you. That is Oakland ROTC. Thank you for presenting the colors today. So now I would like to have Reverend James McCarroll from First Baptist Church offer the blessing.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we give you glory. We give you thanks for this beautiful day you've given us. We thank you for the privilege of being able to live in such an excellent and loving community. Father, today we thank you for the work of the American Red Cross, how they have provided encouragement, support, resources, and hope to those lives they serve and save. Father, we also thank you again today for the special recognition of Mark Pirtle and Gloria Bonner for their work in this community and in this world. And so as we gather, we invoke your presence, that you may be in our midst, that the time together may be fruitful in fellowship, discussion, and information, and that as we leave this place, we would leave better as a result of having been together. In the name of Jesus Christ, we ask it all, believing it done. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend McCarroll. Today, we have an opportunity to honor a community leader that used his God-given talent to drive and make our community a better place. Join me in watching this tribute video of our honoree this year, Mark Pirtle. Mark's brother Mike will join us after the video.
It was probably my all-time favorite youth Christmas, and I guess probably the other guys too, because for Christmas we got matching cowboy outfits, which at that point in time, you turned on the TV, and there were only 3 channels, and I guarantee you there's a Western on one of them. I knew early on that there was something special about him because the parents would let us go out and make a little pocket money mowing yards in the neighborhood. Well, when Mark started doing that, instead of getting 1 or 2 yards, he went out and got like 5, 6, 7, I don't remember how many, but I mean, he literally started a business. He had enough yards that he mowed on a regular basis. He went out and bought a riding lawnmower.
We met at Chesney's. It's not here anymore, the restaurant isn't, but I was sitting with some dear friends, Don and Rita Ash, and Mark came over to introduce himself, and he turned over a drink. And so he sent us all new drinks, but I mean, we just chatted, but that's how we met. And probably 3 or 4 months later, we had a date.
I asked him about one of the ladies that we'd met, and Mark told me, I said, no, I'm focused on this pretty little school teacher, and that was Anita.
And we got married on April the 17th, 1987. So we've been married 35 years. Mark was a man that was so innovative. He could always come up with new ideas that no one else had thought of.
Mark was a force, and I think that really helped not only drive, but it really helped push people to understand, to have an idea and to be able to relentlessly push that. Mark was the guy that you would want to do that.
Well, I always kidded him and said he's a visionary developer masquerading as a car dealer. And he'd just laugh. He wouldn't ever disagree with me, but he'd just laugh. But more than once, when we were in a pretty large real estate deal, he'd get a call on his phone. He said, I've got to go. And it was about selling a car. And I used to kid him about that. I said, you'll walk out of $1 million deal to go sell a car. And he said, you got to remember who brought you to the game.
I don't know whether I want to credit or blame Mark, but Mark really got me involved in actually running for city council in 2006. I'd been on the planning commission since 2000, and we were up in his box at an MTSU game. And he pulled me out in the hallway in true Mark fashion. He's like, hey, I got an idea. And I'm like, well, what is it? He said, I want you to run for city council.
You know, Mark was a consummate entrepreneur. You know, he was always looking for a deal, be it sell you a car, or let's develop this piece of real estate. He had a great vision for seeing what he thought something could be.
That was Mark's idea to initially build the Chamber of Commerce, and that turned into the Red Cross building. And Mark, he always had a vision of being able to take something that was not there and then be able to see how that could benefit not only in business, but benefit someone else. And that's a prime example of how he did that.
One of the most upbeat, positive people that I've ever met. You hear the saying of, a glass is half full or half empty. Mark would tell you he's just happy to have a glass.
Mark had a place in his heart where he would never say, never. He will figure out how to help someone that's either suffering from alcoholism or drugs. Mark just loved the Lord, and he got his joy from God.
I admired, especially when Mark was diagnosed with cancer. He walked his faith out for all of us that knew him real well. And, you can talk about your faith until you get in serious situations, and then you really see how much faith people have got. He had a very strong faith.
His generosity extended well beyond family. Mark gave a lot of money to a whole bunch of different kinds of organizations in our community. That's good, but he gave a lot of time, a lot of attention to people, and that's probably even worth more.
At his heart, Mark was a true Warren County kid. But then when he came to Murfreesboro, Mark considered Murfreesboro home. You drive through the Gateway, you drive down Broad Street, you drive down Memorial, and there's pieces of Mark that are all in this community.
Thank you, Mike, for coming to the stage. And let's get a picture here that we can have this together. But we're presenting you this plaque in honor of your brother. Thanks. Thank you. Okay. There you go. And if you would.
Yeah. Good morning. Thank you for you all for being here this morning to help support a great community asset and in part to honor my dear belated brother Mark. I've been asked to speak briefly for the family, and I will speak briefly. First, I would like to introduce Mark's immediate family that's here to this morning, notably our dear mother, Joyce Green Pirtle, who's here at table 4. Next to her is my sister, the princess of the family, Joy James, and her number 1 brother-in-law, Mike James. I'd also like to recognize longtime dear friends, Donna and Rita Ash and Pam Jones, for being here this morning. Unfortunately, Mark's widow, Anita, wasn't able to attend this morning. On behalf of all of his family, we are deeply appreciative to the Red Cross chapter here for choosing to honor Mark as a community hero. For indeed he was, contributing to our amazing economic prosperity through his insightful development and promotion of the community, and contributing heavily so many other ways to so many different people and organizations, giving not only of his money, but generously of his time and attention and counsel. He was a great man in that regard. As noted, Mark's generosity laid the groundwork for the present Red Cross headquarters building, which is a superb facility well located. To all of you who are here today, the Pirtle family expresses our deep appreciation to each of you and to the Red Cross in particular. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mike, and Mike's family for being here today. And by the way, you've seen Anita Pirtle on the video. She wanted to be here so badly, but somebody had set up a real special trip for her, and that was before we set this date. So she wasn't able to make it, but she wanted to make sure she sends her love and her appreciation for y'all gathering today. And she has seen this video, and she's been blessed by the whole process. So once again, thank you. Quick question. How many people know this, and they probably don't, but with the Red Cross, some of y'all have heard this before, but if you haven't, it's good for you to know, 90% of the work we do is with volunteers. So that's how strong we are with recruiting, retaining, and rewarding volunteers. So in this next video clip, it's going to show you what I think is a great example of how the Red Cross takes and puts compassion into action. So keep in mind, this is filmed in Hurricane Ian. I actually had the opportunity to serve 2 weeks in a deployment there, and I served along with over 1,800 Red Cross volunteers that came from all over the nation. That was very humbling. But keep in mind when you watch this video, 9 from our chapter were down there working with me. It was kind of neat. I was going to different shelters and seeing how things were going, and I was seeing our volunteers, not only in our chapter, but within the Tennessee region there. So, but this also sets the tone for what our volunteers do daily, whether it's showing up to a house that's on fire at 2 o'clock at night and comforting that family, setting up a blood drive. But let's take a minute to watch this video.
So during the hurricane, there was a couple times it got really, really bad to where our trees were going like from this to this, and the kids were really scared. You know, we were concerned and worried about what was going to happen after, you know, the aftermath of all of it. When we took the shutters off and we opened the door for the first time, what's it all going to look like? Directly after the storm, we knew we couldn't stay at our house at that point. So my husband recommended that we go to the Estero Recreation Center, which he had an experience before with Hurricane Irma, that the Red Cross was there. And so he told me about that, and I was like, okay, let's go. I had never been to a shelter before, so I was a little nervous because what you see on TV, but it was nothing like that. It was so much different because of the American Red Cross.
It's really amazing. There's no other way for me to use except for the love that the American Red Cross has really showed us and showed our whole family since the moment we got here.
So the American Red Cross came in and we were actually laying down and they just assumed take over the kids area and started playing with all the kids. They went and played basketball with my son and a few of the other kids. She sat down, one of the other ladies from Red Cross sat down and did a puzzle with Gabriel, a 300-piece puzzle. So she has a lot of patience. It was just really nice to see, like my husband said, the love that they showed us and other families and our kids especially.
It's certain that the donors that donate to the American Red Cross, every dollar gets put towards good use. There's babies here that have diapers and their formula, all the way to adults that have hygiene products, clothes. Every basic need has been met for me and my family and for everyone in the shelter, and that's only because of the people that donate.
Good morning. Okay, you all can do a little bit better than that. Good morning. I know some of us had to wake up very early this morning to get here for this amazing breakfast put on by Middle Tennessee State University, but it is truly an honor and a privilege to stand here before you today as the Heart of Tennessee American Red Cross Board Chair and as the United States of America's Mrs. 2022 for the next 22 days. So I will continue to wear this crown and sash for 22 days. But as John alluded to, the service that our volunteers do here, not only in our community, but internationally, speaks volumes. As we know, alone we can do so little, but together we can do so much. And our Red Cross volunteers are the true heroes, as well as those soldiers that truly helped our families reconnect during family emergencies. Our Red Cross volunteers also help set up blood drives. They help with CPR classes and showing up to house fires in one of the 10 counties that we serve. So at this time, if you are a volunteer or have ever been a volunteer with the American Red Cross, will you please stand and be recognized at this time? I would also like to take this time to thank all of our amazing board and committees, because as you all know, it takes a lot to gather 350 people on a Friday morning at 7:30 a.m. in this room. So if you are a part of the committee, will you please stand and be recognized at this time? Special thanks to Terry Snyder, Tosh Price, Leslie Copen, John Mitchell, Jay Barger, Dr. James Calder, Christy Martin, and Bill Shacklet, as well as the full board. Will you please stand as well? Thank you for your commitment and service to the Heart of Tennessee American Red Cross. The Tennessee Chapter Year in Review. Last year, the Heart of Tennessee chapter served 399 clients. We installed 642 free smoke alarms, taught over 5,000 people life-saving skills through community education and courses, provided over 544 services to the military and veterans families, and collected a whopping 12,000 units of blood. In the first 9 months of the fiscal year, our chapter has served and been committed to helping respond to over 106 home fires, and 41 of those here in Rutherford County. We are on pace to provide over 300 elementary school students with age-appropriate preparedness trainings called Pillowcase and Pedro. What the Heart of Tennessee chapter does on a daily basis cannot be summed up in all the amazing things that's taken place, thanks to our community volunteers as well as our board. So at this time, I would like to bring up our very special guest, our hometown photographer and board member, Mr. Bill Shacklet.
We have really stepped down in far as beauty. Let me tell you, this lady is not only beautiful on the outside. If you know her, she's beautiful on the inside as well. LaShawn, thank you so much for your leadership this year. It's been amazing. We've had a great year in Red Cross. You know, I was thinking this morning about these events like this, and many of you have attended many of these events like this, where we celebrate who we are as a community. And the beautiful thing about Murfreesboro is it's made up of a lot of beautiful people on the inside and the outside. I want to give recognition to some hometown heroes, and I ask that you would stand. If you are a first responder, if you would stand, we'll get our exercises in. First responders, if you're, there you go. Just remain standing for just a minute. If you're a part of the medical community, if you are a part of our medical community, if you'd stand, please. Thank you. Doctors, nurses, there you go. Staff, administrators. Now, if you're a veteran, either presently serving or have served before. Now, let's give all of these folks. Thank you, folks. These are heroes that serve our community on a daily basis. And you know, often I tell my little leaguers, there's two words you need to use a lot and spread it around the world, because it means so much and it costs you very little when you say the two words are thank you. Thank you for the service that you've given us and you continue to give on a regular basis. You know, I want to personally thank everybody. A lot of times when you see an event like this occur, you don't realize what goes on in the background. If you've ever been a part of it, you realize it just doesn't happen These events take a lot of hard work and dedication, and there's been so many people that have worked to make this. And thank MTSU for their gracious hosting of this event for us for the last few years. It's made a big difference. Room is a great place to be able to do that. You know, I want to recognize again someone that's very special in attendance tonight. Mark's life reflected what he valued: faith, family, and community. And this person instilled in him, those values were instilled in him at a very young age. So, you know, all the way from McMinnville, I want to thank you so much, Ms. Pirtle, for coming and making the effort to come. We really appreciate what you have poured into Mark and what we were able to share and what he did in our community. True blessing to our community. Mark attended a Bible study. Guys, raise your hand. This is a Bible study that Mark attended with us on Tuesday. And let me tell you, we talked about and prayed for you just about every Tuesday, I think, when he mentioned you and what you meant to him. So thank you for attending this. It's an honor to have you with us. I was considering last night exactly how I was going to introduce this next lady. We're going to get to know a little bit more about her. You know, I think it's kind of like that. Please understand, Gloria, this analogy. It's kind of like that onion. You peel back and you think you know Gloria, and then all of a sudden you find out something that she's involved with or something that she's done, and you realize, wow, there's so much more to her. And we're going to find out maybe a little bit more about her this morning, but she's everywhere. She's just everywhere. She's always doing something because she has a passion for serving and giving back to the community. Gloria Bonner, if you know her, you love her. There's just no way. You don't have a choice. If you know her, you love her. She has such a huge heart for this community and has always done something, sought to do good in this community. She is our Spotlight honoree, this volunteer Spotlight honoree this year. Let's see, I'm supposed to give you something. There it is. Gloria, would you come up here and let me give you this to you?
Let's step to the side.
Okay.
Let T get a picture.
Okay.
Okay.
And to interview Dr. Bonner is Bart Walker. Bart was our honoree last year and has been involved in Red Cross for a long time too. So another asset of our community, a treasure of our community, Bart Walker with WGMS.
It is so exciting to be up here with you, Gloria. Gloria is really a product of this community.
Mm-hmm.
She grew up here.
That's right.
Born here, the whole bit, went to school here. I mean, she really went to school here from young grades.
And prayed to come back here.
And it's great to have you here. She loves Murfreesboro. I mean, everything she does is about the heart of Tennessee. And Gloria is a product of that. And I think that shines in everything that you do. She's really a mirror of this community, and she's a mirror of her parents. We knew her parents very well, and they have always been just helping the community like you are doing. Your father, the late Hampton Turner,
That's correct.
always involved, and he was, I think, persuaded a little bit by your mother, Gracie, who is now 92 years young.
92 years young.
That is exciting. Give my best to your mom, too.
I will, certainly.
They instilled in their daughter the desire to help others. Basically, love your neighbor. And that's what Gloria has done with the Red Cross. It's almost as if she was raised for her volunteer position with the Red Cross. Dr. Bonner, tell us about your work with the Mission Outreach Committee that also focuses on diversity and inclusion. Tell us about that.
Okay, I'm happy to do that. And before I discuss the DEI initiative, I want to say to the Mark Pirtle family, Mark was such a friend to everyone. And I have such fond memories of his impact here in the community. And he was the kind of person that taught me. We had great conversations. And he always made me laugh. And that's a good thing, to be able to laugh and have a relationship through fellowship with individuals like him. Mark taught me to not be afraid of the space between your dreams and your reality, because that's where you exercise your spiritual gifts and the heart for your community. And I so appreciate him. He was able to persuade me to do things that I never thought I'd do, like volunteer with him to be a participant in the celebrity spelling bee. You know, only Mark could do that. And I say to the family, thank you for sharing Mark with us. There's a song that's called Gone Too Soon. What an impact he made, not only in my life personally, but in the life of this community. And we're forever grateful to you for sharing him. Mike, you really not only had a brother, but you had a best friend in him. So thank you all so much for that. Let's give that family a hand.
Dr. Bonner,
Yes.
wanted to talk with you a little bit about how you got involved in the Red Cross. Because there are a lot of people here who are visitors today.
Yes.
Who would be good volunteers in the Red Cross. How did you get involved? Did somebody ask you? Did you say, I want to be a part of it? How did you get involved?
Well, I'm at the age now where I'm seasoned enough to say what I need to say. This is my second round with Red Cross. So I've been there before. But there's always a need to, I believe, steward our gifts that's been given to us. And we were taught through family as well as church, as well as our neighborhood, to always give. Everything that gives life gives. So you think about the sun, it gives. You think about all the things that were created. We were designed to give back. And that was a part of my family philosophy, as well as all of the individuals that influenced me throughout my community. So I'm just modeling that characteristic that everybody else has shared with me. And I'm so grateful for that opportunity to do that. I hope it's obvious when I show up, and I hope it's obvious when I leave. Don't want to stay too long, but it's important that we give.
One thing that is very obvious about you is you like to have fun.
Yes.
And you like to encourage people to have fun while achieving goals. And I think this has happened with your service to the Red Cross. MTSU's Bleed Blue, that's a mouthful. So Bleed Blue beat WKU. it's done wonders in raising blood donations at a time we really need it. Tell us about that campaign.
Okay. Now, I am an educator by trade. So, as Dean of the College of Education and Behavioral Science, I did that for 10 amazing years. Then I became assistant to the president for university relations. Had no background in that capacity. However, the President McPhee put his trust in me as one of my first responsibilities in that position to create a template for a blood drive that would impact the entire community. Because I've always believed that education is an all-campus responsibility. So I never let any discipline get away with that by just pigeonholing their one discipline. I made it obvious to all the deans, all of the academic administrators, it's an all-campus responsibility. Well, when you take the concept of blood donation, that becomes an all-community responsibility. So in designing a template, I had to come up with a formula that would include everyone, including where would you conduct that blood drive? How will you get the students involved in the blood drive? And everybody else, including the community. That was a big task, but I was able to work with amazing individuals throughout the entire community. I can't take credit for the success of the blood drive. I can only say that God put all the right people in my life in that path at the right time to make it happen. Now, since I've retired, which is an amazing life within itself, I understand that it is the largest blood drive in Murfreesboro, Rutherford County. But it's because of the individuals, the heroes sitting in the seats among you that's made it successful. Ray Wiley, Charlie Gregory in the campus rec, I needed somewhere to conduct that blood drive that would not disrupt the routine of the university activities. After all, believe it or not, students come here to earn a degree. Then we recruited because Chris Massaro, athletic director, had a vision. Let's take the greatest rivalry, WKU, on this campus, and let's connect the blood drive to this traditional rivalry. Do you remember that? 100 miles of hate. So we came up with Bleed Blue, beat WKU. The students came out in droves, but I was very impressed. That tradition didn't just start with college students. Many of them participated because they were groomed for it in their high school years. There's a statement that my grandfather always used. It's important to mold them while the clay is still wet. So we got so much participation from students, and not only the students, members of the President Cabinet, where we all report to one division or another, supported that. And I recruited all the high-profile people. Rick Enzel. I needed Rick to come over and let us stick him with a needle. And he showed up. Rick Stockstill. They all did so well. And then the members of the cabinet, our VPs, modeled what we were trying to accomplish with our student body, including student body president as well as faculty senate president. So it became an all-campus responsibility. The members of the athletic teams were very instrumental in the success of that because they facilitated the process for 3 days. Rain, sleet, or snow, they made parking possible for the community to come into the campus. We provided snacks and meals thanks to Marco's Pizza. They fed students before or after the blood donations. So it's an all community responsibility, and I hope, because we understand the significance of it, that we continue it, because whatever we do really should outlive us. So it's not really about Gloria Bonner. It's not just about MTSU. It's about how we can continue to support the needs within our community. So I am so grateful. I cannot take credit, but I'm glad to be a part of that opportunity that was created for us. And I hope President McPhee is pleased.
What a great...
That helps.
Thank you so much for creating that. This is, if you are old enough to remember this, this is the new Harvey. Remember how Harvey was always passed around between here and Tennessee Tech? Exactly. This is the new one that the now generation can remember and enjoy. So come football season again, let's bleed blue for MTSU.
Yes.
And beat WKU, definitely. Gloria, before we end this morning, let's look back over your volunteer ideas, your volunteer service, and sort of get a feel for what you have enjoyed the most about being a volunteer.
Okay. Well, right now, as you know, I'm recovering from knee replacement. Thank goodness for St. Thomas Ascension Hospital for the wonderful, wonderful, amazing staff and physicians there. So I'm hoping that you still recognize, Gordon, that I'm young in heart, but old in other parts. Old knees, old eyes, old hips, but you all have helped to restore that, all right? So I really think, Bart, that it takes everyone, and I'm a product of this great village, and I'm so proud to be a part of making a difference. The College of Education here on campus sends out letters to each of you about being difference makers. And that's what you do. When you show up on a Friday morning during spring break season and you have on makeup, you take the time to do that. We all have a responsibility to making our community better. And each of you here, I consider you my friends. And I'm just so proud to be a part of a community where we embrace what needs to be done. And as we raise the awareness of those needs, as you can tell, Bart, it's no longer the small community we used to be. I think when I enrolled at MTSU, we had a student body enrollment of 8,000 students, 22,000 now. That's significant growth. Then when you look at the city, the demographic has changed tremendously, and we're still growing. I enjoyed this week because we were on spring break and I could navigate the community much easier. Then next week, we're going to have another spring break season for the school systems. So I'll be making my rounds, and the important thing is being present, just making sure that people know that you're here to support what needs to be done, and mobilizing that kind of commitment makes a difference to everyone. So I'm looking forward to many, many more opportunities to support what we need to do in this great community, because the people are the champions in all of this, because it makes it possible for all of us to be winners.
I think we can all see now why Dr. Gloria Bonner is the one being spotlighted as our special volunteer here at the Heart of Tennessee chapter of the Red Cross. Dr. Bonner, thank you for all that you continue to do to make this area even better.
Well, thank you. It is really my honor and privilege to be a part of such a vibrant community. And I look forward to doing whatever we can to continue that tradition.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So what's better than one princess? Two princesses. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the conclusion of our 2023 Heart of Tennessee American Red Cross Heroes Breakfast. And I must say that today was truly a joyous occasion. Congratulations, Dr. Gloria Bonner, and also to the family and friends of Mark Pirtle. Thank you for being here and joining us. So did you all have a good time this morning? Well, let's see if you had a good time. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, and your face will surely show it. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. If you're happy and you know it, and your face will surely show it. If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. If you're happy and you know it, shout Red Cross. Red Cross. If you're happy and you know it, shout Red Cross. Red Cross. If you're happy and you know it, and your face will surely show it. If you're happy and you know it, shout Red Cross. Red Cross. Yes. Well, we want to thank everyone once again for coming and supporting the mission of the Red Cross and our chapter. On the way out, we would like for you all to stop by one of the program tables where you'll find out more information about volunteering, as staff is eager to help for you to learn more about this. As Dr. Gloria Bonner talked about, grooming, molding individuals while they're young. That is what I'm doing here with my young daughter, London Nicole Dixon, who is at Salem Elementary, and of course they're out of school today, which is why she's here. But she's our current United American Miss. So as I'm leaving my post, she is entering her post. So before we close, I do want to tell you about a couple of upcoming events that were taking place. So our upcoming blood drives are so important, and also sharing information about the importance of sickle cell awareness. We also have service to the armed forces events that are taking place, and we want you all to learn about a new event that's taking place, sponsored by First Baptist. First Baptist over there, if you raise your hand, wave around. It will be our Sound the Alarm event, which will be taking place on April the 1st, right here in our community. So if you would like more information on how you can support this amazing event, you can see one of the individuals outside by the table. As we close, I want to remind everyone of the importance of the number 86,400. There are 86,400 seconds that's found in each and every day. I ask for you all to live in the moment and be in the moment, realizing that yesterday is already gone and tomorrow's not promised. Thank each and every one of you all for being here today to celebrate with us these amazing heroes and volunteers in our community. Have a good day.